What's up, people? Me again, man, Mr. B, and this episode on the channel, we want to look at a report that was just released, comparative salaries among some 20 Caribbean countries. And essentially, what the survey is saying is that Jamaica has the lowest salaries in the region. Now, this is very significant because we want to make the argument from a government and political standpoint about Jamaica being the best place to live and work. And a big part of work is income. And if your income can't carry you going away, then what are we saying? Now, the survey basically was done among some 119 countries across 20 states within the Caribbean region. And what it says is that the Jamaica basically has the lowest salaries in the region on average. Now, it says that 91% of the roles surveyed across the region, and Jamaica basically was the highest. It was the highest percentage of roles ever done by the survey, and this was done by the Caribbean Society for Human Resource Professionals in association with CaribbeanJobs.com. And of course, it says that 91% of the roles surveyed, Jamaica was running at the bottom of the table. Now, for one, Jamaica has some of the highest living costs when on a comparative basis, because a large percentage of what Jamaica does in terms of how an economy impacts its people is through the exchange rate. Today, the Jamaican exchange rate is just shy of 160 Jamaican dollars to $1. And when you consider the cost of energy, which is about 36 cents per kilowatt hour US, relative to places like Trinidad and Tobago and some of the other islands where those rates are a third of what it is costing in Jamaica, 12, 18 cents per kilowatt hour. Already you start to see where we're going. And of course, in those countries, their exchange rates are far more, they far stronger than what we have in Jamaica. Now, the survey was looking at not only at the CEO levels, because it says that even in those levels, CEOs, general managers, marketing managers, and so on, that the Jamaica was still running outside of the frame relative to its Caribbean counterparts. Now, the implication that this have on the economy and its workforce in particular is that it is simply saying, it's bearing out the argument that I've always, supported, that a lot of Jamaicans are not presenting themselves as being in the market looking for jobs, because nobody now work for peppercorn money. The average Jamaican feel that they're much better off trying to hang out a shingle for themselves, and if they have to suffer through the growth and the development of it, then there's a chance that I'm willing to take. And so when you consider that, or you contrast that in the Jamaican economic environment, where the majority of its workforce are at that lower quartile level. First of all, more than 40% of Jamaicans earn less than 20,000 Jamaican dollars a week, and 20,000 Jamaican dollars a week is just about 106 United States dollars. So to ask people to, and that's a sizable clutch of your workforce. Then there's the quartile above that, which would take you up to about the another 30% of the workforce earns anywhere between what is it, 25 and $40,000 a week. Again, that is still less than 200 United States or 250 United States dollars a week. And out of that, people are expected to provide transportation, pay, for accommodation, whether rent, mortgage. In fact, forget about mortgage because you can barely, a mortgage in Jamaica for a two-bedroom house being built in Jamaica today is going to run you easily 150,000, well, anywhere between 80 and $150,000 a month. So if you're not earning at that kind of level, where you're going. And so keep in mind that we have Jamaicans who are working in a call center environment who are of a first degree. And these Jamaicans are earning on an average $2.25 US per hour. Do the math, right? That you're looking at Jamaicans that earn under 100 US dollar a week, and these are people with degrees. And so the survey, quite correctly, I mean, I never have to look at the survey to know that, but it's good to get the comparative information because now it provides a basis to have a meaningful discussion. So essentially, as a country, we are not able to support to provide for the welfare of our workforce. It is one of the reasons why you are now seeing workers in the tourism industry quick to go on strike, because it is in those areas too that the chasm is even more discernible, because you see where workers are telling you, in the hotel industry, by the time they pay taxi fare, because most of the bigger hotels are in the rural areas, most of the hotels are built in areas where there's no housing. And so people have to travel long distances by taxi cab or robot taxi to get to work. And by the time them pay taxi fare and for try buy a little food and so on, they must struggle to get through the rest of the week. And so what it does is that it sends a strong message to your workforce that you basically work for nothing, right? It also is impacting our birth rate, which is a issue that is not being spoken about. Nobody wants to raise families if you can barely feed yourself. And so we are seeing in a lot of these rural areas where you're having this urban drift, where people moving out of these rural communities, and the economies within those areas are dying because people are going into Kingston and in the Montego Bays and Spanish Town and the major towns, where with the hope that they can pick up a job. And so we saw, in a report the other day, where a lot of schools in some of the parishes in Portland and St. Mary, where the schools are closing down because the population drift, separate and apart from the fact that our birth rates have dropped significantly. We used to have a birth rate of about 33 live births per 100,000 of population in the 1970s and 80s. That is down to about 13 per 100,000. And the implication of that is that you're going to have this contraction in the workforce. And because people can't afford to support themselves, they don't have no picnic. And so, these are some significant issues that as a country we're going to have to address. This is not a PNP or a JLP issue. This is a Jamaica issue. And so one of the initial starting point is there are a lot of companies in Jamaica that's doing very, very well. And, they report, the super profits, and them on the stock market, and them doing well. But within the ranks of their employers, a peppercorn rent wages them a work for. A lot of people in the bank, young ladies who dress up with nice hairdo and put on them dandan and thing, and then barely earn $1 million Jamaican a year, $1 million Jamaican a year. The number sound big, but in terms of its ability to fund, your ability to live, a peanut money. So we need to move away from this thing where the Jamaica Employers Federation, everybody, we in Jamaica have fed ourselves on this argument of maintaining a low wage model. What is now coming home to roost is that this low wage model is saying to Jamaican youngsters, go somewhere else and go look a job. It is saying, rather than stay in Jamaica and work for chop and safety, we have a situation where the call center is a big part of how we employ people. The call center not paying no money, and the hotels not paying no money. So what are the opportunities for development for a young person leaving university with a student loan? How them over, pay back the loan? If you're not paying them kind of money, how are they going to be able to afford accommodation if you're not paying them any money? And we might think too that, well, at least the management are get good money. Maybe in some instances CEOs are earning good money, relative. But what happened to the next line of workers? Because according to the survey, in the areas of middle management, the salaries are uncompetitive when compared with its Caribbean counterparts. And so these are some of the things, some of the countries it mentioned that are ahead of Jamaica. The Bahamas, most definitely. The Bahamas, per capita income is just about 30,000 US dollars, and Jamaica is $7,000, or just under 7,000 US dollars. So there's no comparison. But that is why a lot of Jamaicans who working in the hotel industry will jump on a plane and Bahamas or the Cayman Islands because they can earn some better money. The nurses are doing the same thing. Teachers are doing the same thing. Once they have the opportunity to get some sort of a travel permit, they're gone, because in Jamaica they are working for nothing. So these are some significant issues what we need to look at. So this argument that the government is claiming about lowest unemployment figures, in my opinion, is a bullshit argument, because if in fact, there was a report that I saw recently that showed some 270 to 300,000 Jamaicans who have left the school system are unaccounted for in the workforce, right? Which means them now look no job, because when you survey them tell you basically, we now work for bus fare, right? So because they are not looking jobs, they are not counted amongst the unemployment numbers. And that is basically just fudging the numbers to look good. But be that as it may, we don't look good because we can't pay our workers livable wages. In the areas of, especially when you deal with service workers, waiters, housekeepers in the hotel sector, line staff in the dining rooms and the kitchens and so on, woefully underpaid. That is the reason why you are seeing these strikes within the hotel industry in Jamaica, because we have a different workforce than existed 20 years ago. These younger people are not going to put up with that kind of bullshit. They have no problem for God in me out, right? And so we need to fix this issue. Companies that can pay more needs to pay more. Mr. Bartlett jump up and him say, oh, it's 41 cents out of every dollar that is earned by tourism is retained in the country. So why couldn't it be the other way around? Because clearly 41 cents in the dollar is what is going to pay for the infrastructure, pay to keep the place humming and so on, and provide for the service as well. 59 cents of each of those dollars gone back overseas as profit, right? And so these are some of the arguments that we need to make as we address this kind of issue. Let me hear what you think about our meeting, right? Let me get your feedback. If you like the video, I'm gonna invite you to hit the like button if you have not done so before. Subscribe to the channel so we can have these exchanges. I promise I will respond to the comments in the comment section as you have it. And by the way, if you while you're there, I'm gonna invite you to check out our website. Just click on the link in the description that follow the video, and support the site, support the stream, support the channel as well, and subscribe. Until then, more time.